I'd been told since birth that at 16, you choose a class, you serve your god, and you live happily ever after. They forgot to mention the part where happily ever after really means die in your god's name at 30. The temple smelled like burning incense and fear. High Priest Malric stood in the center, smiling like he'd already written my destiny in stone. Kai Draven, he said, his voice echoing. Step forward and claim your class. The crowd cheered. My mother wept. My father nodded like a man signing off on a mortgage. The stone slab glowed as I placed my hand on it. The gods' voices filled my head at once, dozens each promising power, wealth, glory, and service. Choose me. The sun god's voice boomed. I will make you the mightiest champion in the land. Choose me, whispered the moon goddess. I will give you shadows to kill in silence. Choose me, said one god whose name I couldn't pronounce. I will give you tentacles. That one was a hard no. And then I said it, out loud, in front of everyone. No? The crowd froze. High Priest Malric blinked, as if I'd just farted during a funeral. What do you mean? No, he asked. No? I'm not picking a class. You're all insane. Gasps. The gods' voices became a hurricane in my skull, each screaming, threatening, begging. You can't refuse, Malric hissed. It is the will of the gods. Well, tell them to file a complaint, I said, stepping back. The glow of the slab turned black. The gods fell silent. Then, one voice, a cold, amused whisper. Interesting, Malric staggered. You've been marked classless. The crowd's cheering turned into shouting. Someone threw a piece of bread at me. You are cursed, an old woman yelled. Better than being property, I shot back. Malric raised his hand. Guards, seize him. Two armored brutes lunged. I dodged, barely. My father shouted, Run, Kai. I bolted for the temple doors. The gods' voices returned, but now they were all angry. You will regret this. The guards were gaining on me. One grabbed my arm. I twisted, yanked free, and somehow mimicked his exact movement. My body moved like it knew what to do before I did. He hit the ground. I stared at my hands. What the hell was that? No time to think. More guards. I grabbed a torch from the wall, swung it wildly, hit a guard's helmet so hard it rang like a church bell. I burst into the streets. People screamed and scattered. From above, the clouds churned. A golden spear of light slammed into the street where I'd just been standing. The sun god's voice roared, I will burn the defiance from your bones. Rude, I muttered, sprinting down an alley. The spear had left a smoking crater. Shouts echoed. Temple guards were spreading out. I ducked into a side street, vaulted a cart, and startled a donkey. The donkey kicked over a fruit stand, causing chaos. I used the distraction to keep running. My lungs burned. My legs ached. Another spear of light struck ahead, cutting off my escape. I turned into a narrow passage between houses. A cloaked figure blocked my path. Classless, the figure said. Interesting. I backed up. You with them? They think I am, the figure said, pulling down her hood. A young woman with silver eyes. I can get you out, she added. If you trust me. Right now, I trust anyone who's not throwing divine spears at me. She tossed me a small vial. Drink. Is this the part where you poison me? It's the part where you survive. I drank it. Cold fire spread through my veins. The air shimmered. The next spear of light passed straight through us without hitting. Invisibility? I whispered. Sort of, she said. It hides us from divine sight. She led me through winding alleys until we emerged in a quiet courtyard. My name's Lyra, she said. Kai, I replied. Thanks for the save. Don't thank me yet. They'll keep coming. She handed me a dagger. Do you know how to use this? No, but I can fake it. She smirked. Good enough. The sound of boots approached. Lyra pressed her back against the wall. I copied her stance without thinking. When the guards turned the corner, I moved exactly as she did. Fast, precise, deadly. 2 guards fell before they even shouted. I froze. I did what you did. Lyra's eyes widened. You're copying me. I think I can copy anyone. That's not possible, she said. Tell that to the dead guys. She looked thoughtful. Then maybe you really can't survive this. The sky rumbled again. We need to leave the city, she said. Fine by me. We slipped into the shadows. Somewhere above, I felt the gods watching. And one of them whispered again, that same cold, amused voice. Interesting. The forest opened into a wide clearing bathed in silver moonlight. A strange, humming energy filled the air, making the hairs on my arms stand up. The artifact pulsed faintly in my hand, guiding me forward. Leora kept glancing at the shadows. Something's here, she whispered. Suddenly, vines as thick as my arm erupted from the ground, whipping toward us. I barely rolled aside, slashing at them with my dagger. Sparks flew from the steel as the vines resisted my strikes. From the tree line, a massive, moss-covered golem emerged. Its stone eyes glowed faint green. Return the seed or be buried, it rumbled. Leora, I asked. Any idea what it's talking about? She shrugged. Nope, but maybe we should. Not die first. The golem's vines lashed out again, wrapping around my leg. I stabbed at them desperately, feeling the stone-like bark crack under my blade. Leora's magic flared, sending bursts of blue fire to burn the tendrils. We fought in sync, dodging, striking, and cursing in equal measure. I climbed the golem's arm, leaping onto its shoulder and driving my dagger into its neck joint. It let out a deep roar, crumbling as the magic holding it together dissolved. Panting, I rolled off its shoulder as the remains fell apart. The artifact in my hand dimmed, as though satisfied. That was fun, Leora said between breaths. That's your definition of fun. You're terrifying, she smirked. You'll get used to it. We continued toward the glowing mountains in the distance. The air grew colder, the stars brighter. I could feel we were drawing closer to something big, something dangerous. By dawn, we reached the base of the crystal peaks. The mountains shimmered like frozen lightning. At the foot of the path, an old man sat on a rock, polishing a sword taller than himself. He looked up. You're late, he said simply. I don't think we've met, I replied. You will. He tossed the sword to me. It was absurdly heavy, yet when I gripped it, it felt like it belonged in my hand. That blade, the old man continued, was meant for the one who would face the gods. Leora raised a brow. That's not ominous at all. The old man pointed up the mountain trail. They're waiting for you. Don't make them wait too long. Before I could ask more, he vanished like mist. We exchanged a look, then started climbing the icy path. The wind howled, carrying voices I couldn't understand. The sword on my back vibrated faintly, almost eager. Halfway up, a massive eagle with burning eyes swooped down, talons outstretched. I drew the sword instinctively. It sang through the air, striking the beast with a flash of white light. The eagle exploded into feathers that dissolved before touching the ground. Leora stared at me. Yeah, you're definitely cursed now. I wasn't sure if she was joking. The city of Arainvale was busier than usual when we arrived, the streets buzzing with traveling merchants, colorful banners, and the scent of street food. We had barely stepped past the gates when Myra leaned in. This city is known for its Tournament of Crowns, biggest combat event in the region. That caught my attention. Prize? I asked. Enough gold to buy an airship and an artifact called the Ember Crown, an artifact. That meant potential power and potential trouble. We headed toward the tournament registration area, passing a crowd of performers juggling fire and musicians playing enchanted instruments. Participants sign up here, shouted a clerk in bright red robes. I stepped forward, scrawled my name, and felt a magical seal settle over my wrist. "You'll fight in 3 days," the clerk explained. "Preliminary rounds first." "No killing, no killing," I muttered. "That's optimistic." The inn we found overlooked the arena, and all night I could hear the clang of weapons as fighters practiced. When dawn came, I was already in the training yard, working through strikes and feints. Kale, who had tagged along since the dungeon, leaned on the fence. "You're fast, but your stance is too rigid." I tossed him a practice sword. "Show me better." He did, slipping past my guard twice in seconds. By the end of the session, sweat dripped from my hair, but my movements felt sharper. 3 days passed in a blur of preparation. On the morning of the tournament, the arena roared with thousands of voices. "Welcome to the Tournament of Crowns," bellowed the announcer, his voice magically amplified. The first match came quickly. My opponent, a hulking orc named Garrick, swung a warhammer like it was a twig. I dodged the first blow, barely, the stone beneath my feet cracking. He grinned. "You're quick, little one. Let's see how long that lasts." I kept moving, striking at his legs, arms, and finally his wrist, knocking the hammer from his grasp. The crowd roared as I pressed my advantage, pinning him with my blade to his throat. "Winnerlier," the announcer declared. The next fight came before I could even rest. A mage this time, cloaked in sapphire robes, wielding ice magic. Shards of frozen air hissed past my cheek as I closed the gap. One solid strike to her staff shattered it, ending the duel. By the 5th match, my arms burned, but adrenaline pushed me forward. When the announcer called my name for the semifinals, I felt the weight of the moment settle in. My opponent was Kale. "You ready to lose?" he asked with a grin. I smirked. "Not today." Our blades clashed, sparks flying. Kale fought with precision, every strike calculated. I countered with unpredictability, changing angles, feinting left and striking right. The fight lasted longer than any before. Finally, a well-timed sweep sent him sprawling. He laughed as I helped him up. "Guess I'm buying drinks tonight." Then came the final match. My opponent was a cloaked figure, face hidden, moving with unnatural speed. The moment our blades met, I knew they weren't human. They whispered something I couldn't hear, and the arena's air shimmered like heat over sand. With each strike, I felt my energy being drawn away. Myra shouted from the stands, "They're draining you. End it fast." I pushed forward, feigning weakness until they lunged. Then I twisted, slamming the hilt of my sword into their mask, cracking it. Beneath, eyes like molten gold burned back at me, a god's spawn. They hissed and vanished in a swirl of flame, leaving the ember crown on the ground. The announcer, stunned, eventually stammered, "Winnerlier." The crowd erupted, but my thoughts were already elsewhere. God's spawn didn't appear in tournaments for fun. This was a message. I picked up the ember crown, its weight both light and impossibly heavy in my hands. Kale and I reached the gates of the city of Emberhold just as the sun was dipping below the horizon. The golden light glinted off the stone walls, giving them an almost magical glow. The guards gave us a once-over before letting us through, clearly too tired to question two dusty travelers. Inside, the streets were alive with vendors packing up their stalls, children chasing each other, and the scent of fresh bread drifting through the air. We found an inn called the Wandering Stag and secured a room for the night. The innkeeper, a round woman with a booming laugh, served us stew and bread that tasted like heaven after days on the road. Over dinner, Kale leaned in, his voice low. "We need to find the Temple of Radiance before the priests of purity do. If they get there first," his eyes darkened, "they'll use the relic inside to wipe out every magic user in the realm." The next morning, we visited the marketplace to gather supplies. As I browsed a stall selling enchanted trinkets, a man in a hood bumped into me. My instincts flared. I caught his wrist just as his other hand slipped toward my coin pouch. His eyes widened in shock before he grinned. "You're quick," he said, freeing himself. "Name's Rin, and you're the one everyone's been whispering about." I frowned. Whispering, Rin chuckled. "A magicless adventurer who defeated the Crimson Drake. Yeah, word travels fast. He offered to guide us to someone who knew the way to the temple, claiming he owed me for not turning him in. Against my better judgment, we agreed. He led us through winding alleys until we reached a small tea shop. Inside, an elderly woman sat behind the counter, her eyes sharp despite her frail frame. Rin bowed. "Mother Elara, these to need the path to the Temple of Radiance." Elara studied us for a long moment before nodding. "You'll need more than directions. The temple is guarded by the trials of light, each one deadlier than the last." She drew us a map and gave Kale a vial of shimmering liquid. "When the light blinds you, drink this," she said cryptically. We set out that afternoon, following the map into the dense forest east of Emberholt. The trees grew taller and thicker until they blocked most of the sunlight, and the air was filled with the hum of unseen insects. By nightfall, we reached the edge of a vast clearing. In the center stood a massive golden gate, its surface etched with runes that pulsed faintly. As we approached, the ground beneath us shifted. A figure emerged from the shadows, a knight in radiant armor, his helmet shaped like the sun. His voice echoed, "Only those pure of purpose may pass." "State your intent." Kale stepped forward. "We seek to protect the relic from those who would misuse it." The knight tilted his head. "Then prove your purity. Defeat me without drawing blood." He charged, and I barely had time to roll aside. His strikes were blindingly fast, each blow heavy enough to shatter bone. I relied on quick footwork, dodging and redirecting his attacks. Finally, I spotted my chance. I hooked his leg with my staff, sending him crashing to the ground. Instead of finishing the fight, I offered my hand. The knight hesitated, then took it. His armor dissolved into golden light, leaving only an empty helm. "You may pass," his voice whispered as the gate swung open. Beyond the gate lay a long marble path leading into the temple, its walls glowing faintly. As we stepped inside, the air grew warm, almost comforting. But the moment we crossed the threshold, the door slammed shut behind us, and the floor dropped away. We fell into darkness, landing in a chamber lit only by floating orbs. From the shadows, figures emerged, exact copies of ourselves, every detail mirrored. Kale cursed. "The trial of reflection." My double smirked, drawing a weapon identical to mine. "Let's see if you can beat yourself," it taunted. The battle was chaos. Every move I made, my double countered. It knew my habits, my strengths, my weaknesses. I had to think differently, break my own patterns. Feinting left, I struck right, catching it off guard. The clone staggered, then dissolved into mist. Kale finished his fight seconds later. The orbs floated upward, revealing a staircase. We climbed it, emerging into a grand hall where a massive crystal pulsed with light the relic. But standing before it was a man in white robes, his eyes cold and unfeeling. "You're too late," he said, raising his hand. The crystal's light began to twist, darkening into a sickly shade. The forge roared like a dragon's breath as Master Tharn pounded molten steel into shape. I stood by the workbench, holding the blueprint he'd sketched for my new weapon. "You're asking for something that shouldn't exist," he muttered, wiping sweat from his brow. "That's the point," I replied. "If I'm going to face the gods, I need a weapon that can't be predicted." He grinned faintly. "Then you'll need more than steel. You'll need, of course, something alive." 2 days later, we ventured into the Whispering Caverns, a place where light itself seemed afraid to enter. Strange whispers crawled over my skin, repeating my thoughts back at me in twisted tones. At the cavern's heart, a crystalline creature slumbered, its body glowing faintly. "That's your core," Tharn said, "the spirit quartz. Bond with it, and your weapon will never be ordinary. When I reached for it, the creature's eyes opened, and my mind was flooded with visions, cities burning, gods screaming, and my own reflection smiling with too many teeth. "Why should I join you?" the creature's voice echoed in my head. "Because," I answered, forcing calm into my thoughts, "I'm going to break the chains your gods put on this world." The spirit quartz pulsed, then melted into my palm, burning a mark into my skin. My vision snapped back, and I was gasping on the cavern floor. "Congratulations," Tharn said. "Now it'll either make you unstoppable or consume you." Back at the forge, the work began. Days blurred into nights as we fused the quartz into a blade that shimmered with shifting colors. Sometimes it felt like the weapon was watching me. When it was finally done, I swung it experimentally. The air itself rippled and bent. "Test it outside," Tharn warned. "Unless you want my shop in the next dimension." I stepped into the open field, raised the blade, and slashed. A rift tore through the air, spilling fragments of starlight onto the grass. My breath caught this wasn't just a weapon, it was a key. But before I could marvel further, a voice boomed from above. "Mortal, hand it over." A colossal hand of golden light descended from the clouds, reaching for me. I rolled aside, the hand crushing the earth where I'd stood. "Not today," I shouted, charging forward. My blade met the glowing palm, and the impact sent shock waves across the field. The clouds split, revealing the face of a god serene, yet filled with disdain. "You tamper with powers beyond your understanding." I tightened my grip. "Guess I'll just have to understand them the hard way." We clashed again, my blade carving arcs of distorted reality, his strikes shaking the ground. The spirit quartz whispered strategies in my mind, showing me the god's weak points. One final slash sent the divine figure staggering back into the sky, his form dissolving into mist. I was left standing in the silence, heart pounding, knowing this was only the first of many gods who would come for me. The aftermath of my battle with the god left the land scarred and my body aching, but there was no time to rest. Lyria and Kale were waiting at the edge of the battlefield, concern etched on their faces. "We need to move," Lyria said urgently. "The other gods will know you're a threat now." Kale nodded. "They won't wait for you to grow stronger." I strapped the spirit quartz blade to my back and took a deep breath. "Where to next?" "The Oracle of the Silver Veil," Lyria replied. "She sees the threads of fate better than anyone." The journey to the Oracle's temple took us through dense forests and misty valleys. Strange creatures watched us from the shadows, but none dared approach. At the temple, a towering structure of silver and crystal, we were greeted by a woman whose eyes shimmered like liquid stars. "You carry the mark of the spirit quartz," she said softly. "Your destiny is entwined with the fall of the gods." She led us inside, where walls displayed swirling visions of possible futures. "Your path is perilous," she warned, "but the threads are not fixed. Choices will change everything." She showed me a vision of myself standing atop the shattered throne of the gods, the world at peace beneath me. "And a warning," she added. "The closer you get, the darker the shadows grow." On our way out, a shadow detached itself from the corner of the room, an assassin cloaked in darkness. Before I could react, blades flew toward us. Kale blocked one, but another grazed Lyria's arm. I drew my blade, the spirit quartz humming with power, and fought back fiercely. The assassin melted into shadows and vanished. Lyria winced but smiled. "Yes, we're not safe even in a temple," Kale grinned. "Nothing's safe when you're hunting gods." We pressed onward, the weight of destiny heavy on my shoulders, but with newfound resolve burning brighter than ever. The morning air was crisp as we set out from the mountain's base, the weight of victory still heavy on my shoulders. Kale carried the codex carefully, its ancient pages whispering secrets only he seemed to understand. Lyria walked beside me, her gaze distant yet determined. "We can't let our guard down," she warned. "The gods may be broken, but their influence lingers." I nodded, feeling the truth of her words in every step. The villages we passed were scarred by the gods' rule, but the people's eyes held a spark of hope. Children played in the streets, their laughter a balm to the wounds of war. One evening, as we camped beneath a sky painted with stars, Lyria shared a troubling vision. "The gods' essence is fracturing," she said quietly. "Fragments of their power could corrupt the world if left unchecked." Kale frowned. "We need to find these shards before others do." Our journey took us to the ruins of an ancient city, swallowed by time and vines. Here, magic pulsed unevenly, the air thick with latent power. We encountered creatures twisted by godly corruption, beasts neither fully alive nor dead. Each battle tested our resolve, but we pressed forward, driven by purpose. Deep within the ruins, we discovered a shard glowing with an eerie light. The moment I touched it, visions flooded my mind: war, destruction, and a desperate plea for salvation. Lyria's voice brought me back. "We must keep it safe." Suddenly, shadows erupted around us, mercenaries sent by the remaining gods. Steel clashed and spales flew as we fought desperately. With combined strength, we defeated them, but the threat was clear. We were not alone in seeking the shards. The Codex revealed a ritual that could cleanse the shards, but it required a sacrifice. Kale volunteered without hesitation, his loyalty unwavering. I struggled with the thought of losing him, but he smiled. "We all have a role." The ritual was perilous, draining Kale's strength, but the shard's corruption was sealed. We mourned his sacrifice, but honored his bravery. Our path led us next to the shimmering lake, where another shard lay hidden beneath its crystalline waters. Guarded by a colossal serpent, the lake was both beautiful and deadly. Using cunning and teamwork, we distracted the beast and retrieved the shard. Each shard we collected lessened the gods' hold on the world, but the cost grew heavier. Lyria grew weaker with each cleansing, her magic tied to the divine balance. One night, she confessed her fear. "If I fall, the world may fall with me." I vowed to protect her, knowing the fight was far from over. Our final destination loomed the Abyssal Rift, where the greatest shard awaited. Legends spoke of it as the heart of godly power and corruption. As we approached, the ground trembled and the sky darkened ominously. We steeled ourselves for the ultimate challenge, united by purpose and friendship. The battle ahead would decide the fate of all, but together we were ready to face it. The Abyssal Rift yawned before us, a dark chasm pulsing with malevolent energy. The air was thick with despair, and every step felt heavier than the last. Lyria's hand trembled as she held the codex, her strength waning. "We're close," she whispered. "But this place will test us beyond limits." Kel's sacrifice weighed on my mind, fueling my resolve. We descended into the rift's depths, shadows curling like living things around us. Strange whispers clawed at my thoughts, trying to fracture my will. I gripped my spirit quartz blade tighter, its glow a beacon in the darkness. Suddenly, the ground beneath us shook violently. From the abyss rose a towering entity, half shadow, half fire, eyes burning with hatred. The corruptor, Lyria breathed, the source of all the gods' fractures. It roared, a sound that echoed through the very bones of the world. I stepped forward, challenging the monstrosity with every ounce of courage. Our battle was cataclysmic, light and shadow tearing through the rift's walls. The corruptor's strikes were devastating, but I fought with the power of every shard we had cleansed. Lyria chanted from behind, her voice weaving a protective barrier. Kel's memory surged within me, strengthening my heart. With a final, desperate strike, my blade pierced the corruptor's core. A blinding light engulfed the rift, shaking the very fabric of reality. When the light faded, silence reigned. The shard's corrupt glow vanished, replaced by a serene calm. Lyria collapsed, exhausted but alive. "We did it," she said softly, tears streaming down her face. The god's tyranny was finally broken. As we emerged from the rift, the world felt renewed, lighter, freer. Villages once oppressed now flourished under open skies. The people hailed us as heroes, but I knew this victory belonged to all who fought for freedom. We returned to the forge, where Master Tharn awaited, a proud smile on his face. "This world is yours to protect now," he said. I sheathed my blade, feeling the weight of responsibility and hope intertwined. Our journey had ended, but the story of the world's rebirth was just beginning. Together, we faced the dawn of a new era, ready to write the next chapter. After the fall of the gods, peace seemed to settle over the land, but old wounds run deep. Lyria's health continued to wane, the toll of magic evident in her pale complexion. Kel's sacrifice haunted my dreams, a constant reminder of the cost of freedom. One morning, we received word of a distant village plagued by mysterious disappearances. Determined to help, we set out immediately, hoping to bring hope to those still suffering. The village was shrouded in mist, its streets eerily silent. Locals whispered of shadows that stole people away in the night. We investigated, uncovering traces of dark magic lingering in the air. Our search led us to an abandoned chapel at the village's edge. Inside, ancient runes pulsed faintly on the walls, a relic of a forgotten god's curse. As we explored, shadowy figures emerged, twisted by lingering divine corruption. A fierce battle erupted, testing our strength and resolve once more. After defeating the shadows, we discovered a hidden chamber beneath the chapel. Inside lay a sealed portal, flickering with unstable magic. Lyria speculated it was a remnant gateway to the god's realm. We debated whether to close it or use it to learn more about the god's downfall. Choosing caution, we sealed the portal with a powerful ritual from the Codex. With the village safe again, gratitude replaced fear in the eyes of the villagers. Their smiles reignited a spark of hope within me. Our journey continued, with whispers of unrest in other corners of the world. Despite the gods' fall, their influence lingered in subtle, insidious ways. We encountered factions vying for power, some seeking to restore the old order. Navigating political intrigue became a new challenge, alongside battling dark forces. Lyria's condition worsened, prompting me to seek ancient remedies. Guided by a cryptic map, I ventured to the Forest of Whispers alone. The forest was alive with magic, both beautiful and dangerous. Deep within, I found a rare herb said to heal even the most cursed ailments. Returning to camp, I brewed a potent elixir for Lyria. Her recovery was slow but steady, strengthening our hope. Kel's memory spurred us forward, reminding us of the fragile peace we fought for. Together, we prepared to face whatever new challenges awaited beyond the horizon. The days grew longer, and the weight of our journey pressed ever more heavily on us. News of strange phenomena spread, storms that whispered names, shadows that moved against the wind. We traveled toward the source, a fortress rumored to hold relics of the old gods. Its walls were carved from black stone, cold to the touch and towering toward a sky heavy with clouds. Inside, traps awaited, but our experience saw us through. We discovered a chamber filled with ancient artifacts pulsing with residual power. Among them was a shattered relic emitting a faint hum. Lyria warned, such power is dangerous, even broken. As I reached out, the relic surged, and visions assaulted my mind. Memories not my own, wars, betrayals, and God's despair. Suddenly, the fortress trembled. It seemed alive, reacting to our intrusion. From the shadows, figures cloaked in robes advanced, keepers of the relics. Negotiations failed, and combat erupted once more. With teamwork and grit, we overcame the keepers, but the fortress itself began to crumble. We escaped just as the structure collapsed behind us, dust and echoes swirling. Outside, the sky cleared to reveal a radiant sun, a symbol of hope. But Lyria's weakened state was evident. The elixir's effects were waning. Determined to save her, I vowed to seek out the legendary healer of the Vale. Our path led us through treacherous mountains and hidden valleys. Along the way, we faced natural dangers and remnants of godly curses. At last, we found the healer, a mysterious figure cloaked in green, eyes full of ancient wisdom. She agreed to help, but warned of the cost. A trial of spirit and sacrifice awaited, testing not only Lyria, but all of us. The ritual was intense, pushing us to our limits. Slowly, Lyria's strength returned, her magic stabilizing once more. With renewed hope, we set our sights on rebuilding the shattered world. Though the gods had fallen, their shadows still lingered. But together, we would face whatever came next, ready for new adventures and the promise of peace. The world was slowly healing, yet beneath the surface, old tensions simmered. Rumors of a hidden cult seeking to revive the gods reached our ears. Determined to prevent another catastrophe, we traced their movements through dense forests and forgotten ruins. The cult was secretive, their rituals dark and ancient. We infiltrated one of their gatherings, witnessing chants that sent chills down my spine. Lyria's magic flared, warning us of impending danger. Suddenly, cultists surrounded us, forcing a desperate fight. Though outnumbered, our experience and unity turned the tide. We captured their leader, a man possessed by zealotry and madness. Interrogating him revealed plans to awaken a dormant god beneath the earth. Time was against us. We had to act swiftly. Our journey led us to caverns deep beneath the mountains, the air thick with oppressive energy. The ground trembled as ancient seals weakened. We fought guardians of stone and shadow, each more dangerous than the last. At the heart of the cavern lay a colossal altar, cracked but pulsing with raw power. Lyria began a counter-ritual, her voice steady despite her exhaustion. I stood guard, fending off waves of cultists desperate to stop us. With a final incantation, the seals were reforged and the gods' slumber secured once more. The cult was broken, their threat extinguished for now. Exhausted but victorious, we emerged into the dawn's light. The people's faith in a peaceful future grew stronger. Yet, I knew vigilance was eternal. For even in peace, shadows could return, and I would be ready. The seasons changed, bringing with them fresh challenges and unexpected allies. In a bustling trade city, we met Aaron, a rogue with a mysterious past and quick wit. His knowledge of the underworld proved invaluable as whispers of unrest grew louder. Together, we uncovered a plot to exploit the remnants of godly magic for personal gain. Corrupt nobles sought to amass power, risking chaos once more. We navigated treacherous political waters, balancing diplomacy and force. Aaron's street smarts complemented Lyria's magic and my combat skills. Our bond grew stronger, forged in the fires of shared hardship. One night, a masked ball turned deadly when assassins targeted us. Surviving the ambush required every ounce of skill and luck we had. The city erupted into turmoil, forcing us to flee into the wilderness. There, ancient guardians awaited, testing our worthiness to wield the power we sought to protect. Each trial pushed us beyond limits, revealing hidden strengths and vulnerabilities. Lyria's magic blossomed anew, fueled by hope and friendship. We emerged transformed, ready to face the next storm. News came of distant lands torn by war and dark sorcery. Our journey extended beyond familiar borders into realms where myths breathed life. We encountered dragons, spirits, and warriors bound by honor and ancient codes. Every encounter shaped us, deepening our understanding of the delicate balance between power and responsibility. Despite the burdens, laughter and camaraderie lightened our path. Even in the darkest times, moments of joy reminded us why we fought. Together, we marched onward, hearts steeled for whatever awaited. The sky darkened as storm clouds gathered over the kingdom's capital. Reports of unnatural tempests and restless spirits troubled the council. We arrived to find a city on edge, its people fearful and divided. An ancient relic, the Stormheart Amulet, had been stolen from the royal vault. Its loss threatened to unleash chaos upon the land. We offered our aid, tracing the thief through labyrinthine alleys and shadowed towers. Our pursuit led us to the enigmatic Shadow Syndicate, masters of deception and subterfuge. Infiltrating their stronghold required cunning and courage. We faced traps, illusions, and betrayals that tested our trust in one another. At the heart of the Syndicate's lair, the amulet pulsed with volatile energy. A fierce battle erupted against the Syndicate's leader, a sorcerer consumed by greed. Combining our strengths, we shattered his hold over the amulet. Restoring it to the vault, the city's storms began to calm. The people's faith in hope and order was rekindled. But whispers of darker forces stirred beyond the horizon. We prepared for the next journey, united and unwavering. A new dawn broke over the land, painting the skies with hues of gold and rose. Our journey led us to the Forgotten Isles, shrouded in mist and legend. Locals spoke of ancient guardians and lost treasures hidden beneath the waves. As we explored the rocky shores, we encountered a tribe skilled in elemental magic. They welcomed us cautiously, testing our intentions with subtle challenges. Through shared trials, bonds of friendship formed, and secrets were revealed. We learned of an impending threat, a leviathan stirring from the ocean's depths. Its awakening could drown entire coastlines in fury. Determined to prevent disaster, we sought the heart of the tides, a crystal said to control the seas. Our quest took us beneath the waves, navigating coral labyrinths and facing fierce sea creatures. The Leviathan's power was immense, its rage a force of nature. In a climactic battle, we combined magic and steel to calm the beast's fury. Peace returned to the Isles, and gratitude flowed like the tides. Our hearts were heavy with the knowledge that challenges would never cease. But with allies by our side, hope endured. We set sail once more, ready to face the unknown horizons ahead. The forests grew denser as we ventured deeper into uncharted lands. Strange lights flickered between the trees, and the air was thick with magic. We discovered an ancient ruin, half swallowed by nature's embrace. Inside, inscriptions told of a forgotten civilization that once rivaled the gods themselves. Exploring further, we triggered a trap that sealed the entrance behind us. Trapped but undeterred, we pressed onward into the darkness. Echoes of distant voices guided us to a chamber illuminated by ethereal light. At its center lay a pedestal holding a crystal pulsating with raw energy. As I reached for it, visions of the past flooded my mind, wars, triumphs, and a curse unleashed. Suddenly, the ruin trembled, and spectral guardians rose to defend their sacred ground. Battling phantoms and illusions tested our strength and resolve. Lyria's magic intertwined with the crystal's power, revealing a way to break the ancient curse. With combined effort, we shattered the curse's hold on the land. The ruin's energy shifted from darkness to light, restoring balance. Freed from the trap, we emerged, forever changed by what we had witnessed. Our journey continued, each step bringing new mysteries and deeper understanding. The world was vast, and our story was far from over. Mist hung low over the hills as we approached the ancient monastery, its spires piercing the fog like silent sentinels. Monks greeted us with wary eyes, their chants echoing through stone halls steeped in history. We sought knowledge hidden in their vast library, texts said to contain forgotten spells and prophecies. Among the dusty scrolls, we uncovered a map leading to the celestial nexus, a place where the veil between worlds was thinnest. The monks warned of dangers guarding the nexus, tests meant only for the worthy. Undeterred, we set out toward the distant mountains, our hearts filled with determination. The path was treacherous, filled with rocky cliffs and shifting mists that played tricks on the mind. One night, under a canopy of stars, strange lights danced around our campfire. Ghostly figures appeared, their whispers telling tales of heroes long past. They imparted wisdom and warnings, guiding us forward. At the base of the mountain, we faced a guardian beast, immense and fierce, protecting the entrance to the Nexus. Through strategy and courage, we overcame the creature, earning passage. Inside, the celestial nexus shimmered with ethereal light, a convergence of cosmic energies. We meditated, seeking clarity and strength for the challenges ahead. Visions unfolded glimpses of futures both hopeful and dire. Lyria's magic surged in response, revealing a new path intertwined with fate. Armed with knowledge and renewed purpose, we descended, ready to face the unknown trials awaiting us. The journey to the Shadowfen Marsh was fraught with peril. Mists clung to our skin, and unseen creatures lurked just beyond sight. The air was thick with decay and whispered secrets. We moved cautiously, senses heightened with every step. Lyria's magic provided a faint glow, pushing back the oppressive darkness. Suddenly, a chorus of eerie cries erupted, followed by the snapping of twigs. Swamp beasts emerged, twisted forms born of shadow and rot. Our battle was fierce. Every strike mattered as the marsh seemed to fight alongside the creatures. Wounds fresh, we pressed deeper, determined to find the source of the corruption. At the heart of the marsh, an ancient altar stood, cracked but pulsing with dark energy. The air vibrated with malevolent power. Lyria began a cleansing ritual, her voice steady despite exhaustion. I stood guard, fending off relentless waves of hostile spirits. The marsh fought back, sending tendrils of shadow that sought to ensnare us. With a surge of will, I shattered the nearest tendril, buying Lyria precious time. As the ritual reached its peak, the altar shattered in a burst of blinding light. The oppressive energy lifted, replaced by a serene calm that spread through the marsh. Creatures once hostile retreated into the shadows, leaving the land to breathe again. We collapsed beside a clearing, relief washing over us. Though battered, our spirits remained unbroken. Our path now led toward the forgotten city of Eldrith, whispered to hold answers to the gods' true origins. The road ahead promised more trials, but with each victory, our resolve only strengthened. Together, we faced the unknown, ready to shape our destiny. The sun dipped low as we approached Eldrith, its ruins silhouetted against a blood-red sky. The city was a labyrinth of crumbling stone and forgotten memories. We stepped cautiously through shattered streets, every shadow hinting at danger. Whispers of ancient magic seemed to pulse beneath the earth. Lyria traced symbols in the dust, deciphering the language of the lost. Our search led us to a hidden chamber beneath the Grand Temple. Inside, a mural depicted the gods' creation and their fall from grace. It told of a secretan artifact capable of rewriting fate itself. The moment we touched it, the ground shook violently. Guardians of stone and spirit materialized, their eyes glowing with fury. A fierce battle ensued, testing every skill and spell we possessed. With combined strength and cunning, we overcame the Guardians. The artifact was ours, its power humming with untold potential. But such power came with a price. Visions of a fractured future flashed before my eyes. We debated the artifact's fate, knowing misuse could bring ruin. Choosing wisdom, we sealed it away, guarding its secret carefully. Eldrith's mysteries deepened our understanding of the gods and ourselves. As dawn broke, we prepared to leave, hearts heavy but hopeful. The path ahead was uncertain, but united, we would face whatever challenges awaited. Winds grew colder as we left Eldrith behind, the weight of the artifact's secret heavy on our minds. News reached us of unrest in the Northern Kingdom's clashes between warlords and shadows stirring anew. We journeyed through snow-covered forests, the silence broken only by crunching footsteps. Lyria's magic kept the cold at bay, but even she seemed drained by the relentless chill. In a remote village, we found refugees seeking shelter from the turmoil. Their stories spoke of a dark force rallying behind a mysterious figure known only as the Wraith King. Determined to prevent another war, we set out to uncover the Wraith King's plans. Our search led us to icy caverns where the veil between life and death thinned dangerously. Ghostly apparitions haunted the tunnels, their mournful wails echoing through the stone. We fought spirits clinging to pain and anger, each encounter draining our strength. At the cavern's heart, the Wraith King awaited a towering figure wreathed in shadows and cold fire. His voice was a chilling whisper promising despair and endless night. The battle tested our will like never before, magic and steel clashing in a dance of light and darkness. Drawing on every lesson learned and every shard's power, we fought with unyielding determination. In the end, the Wraith King's form shattered, his essence dissolving into the frost. The Northern Kingdoms breathed a collective sigh of relief. Though victorious, we knew peace was fragile, always threatened by shadows lurking just beyond sight. With heavy hearts, we continued our journey, ready for whatever fate held next. Spring breathed life back into the land as we crossed rolling meadows and blossoming fields. The scars of war slowly faded, replaced by vibrant colors and hopeful songs. Our travels brought us to the city of Valamant, famed for its scholars and arcane academies. There, we sought knowledge to understand the lingering effects of the gods' downfall. The academy's halls buzzed with curiosity and debate, ancient tomes lining towering shelves. We met Elara, a gifted mage whose insight challenged even Lyria's understanding. Together, we delved into forbidden texts and unraveled mysteries long buried. Late one night, a sudden tremor shook the city, and dark clouds gathered unnaturally overhead. An ancient curse, tied to the gods' power, threatened to unravel the delicate balance. Elara led us to a hidden chamber beneath the academy, where a relic pulsed with chaotic energy. With combined effort, we contained the curse, weaving spells that harmonized the discordant magic. The city breathed easier, its people unaware of the danger averted. Our bonds deepened as we faced trials together, forging friendships that would endure beyond any battle. With renewed purpose, we set our sights on restoring harmony to a world forever changed. Though the road was long, hope guided us forward, our story far from over. The horizon blazed with the colors of dawn as we ventured toward the Whispering Plains. Legends spoke of a place where voices of the past could be heard on the wind. We hoped to uncover truths buried beneath layers of time and shadow. The plains stretched endlessly, tall grasses swaying like waves in the breeze. At night, the whispers grew louder, weaving tales of heroes and forgotten battles. Guided by these echoes, we found ancient relics and inscriptions revealing the gods' fall was but one chapter in a long saga. Our journey revealed a tapestry of cycles: creation, destruction, and rebirth. Amidst the plains, we encountered nomads skilled in song magic, their melodies healing wounds and soothing restless souls. They taught us the power of harmony and balance, vital to maintaining peace in a fractured world. One evening, a tempest arose, lightning tearing through the sky. We sought shelter in a cavern, where visions of the future unfolded in crystalline formations. These glimpses were both hopeful and warning, urging caution and courage. With new wisdom, we pressed onward, hearts united by purpose and friendship. The path ahead was uncertain, but together we would face the coming trials. For in the dance of fate, every step mattered. Twilight settled over the Emberwood forest, its trees glowing faintly with residual magic. We entered the forest cautiously, aware that ancient spirits still roamed its depths. The air was thick with enchantment and whispers of forgotten lore. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows, a guardian of the woods, part human, part tree. She spoke in riddles, testing our intentions and hearts. To prove our worth, we faced trials of courage, wisdom, and compassion. Each challenge revealed more about ourselves and the delicate balance of nature's magic. Lyria's connection to the land deepened, her powers blossoming with newfound strength. In the heart of Emberwood, we discovered an ancient shrine pulsating with life energy. The shrine held a seed said to restore vitality to the fading world, But taking the seed required a sacrifice, giving up a cherished memory to preserve the future. We debated the cost, understanding that growth often demands loss. Together, we chose to relinquish memories of pain and regret, freeing ourselves to embrace hope. With the seeds secured, the forest began to heal, its glow brightening the dusk. Our journey continued, each step a testament to resilience and unity. Though the road was long, we carried the light of Emberwood within us, guiding our way forward. The dawn broke over the crystal peaks, sharp and clear against the pale sky. Our ascent was arduous, with thin air and treacherous cliffs challenging every step. At the summit, we found a temple carved into the ice, its walls shimmering with frozen light. Inside, ancient glyphs spoke of a celestial event that could reshape the world's magic. We prepared to perform a ritual to harness this power for healing and renewal. As the stars aligned, energy surged through the temple, intertwining with our spirits. Visions of past and future danced before us, revealing paths of hope and sacrifice. The ritual's success restored balance to the land's magic, easing the remnants of divine turmoil. With hearts lifted, we descended the peaks, ready to share the blessing with the world below. Our bond stronger than ever, we faced the horizon with hope and determination. The story of our journey was nearing its close, but the legacy we forged would endure. Together, we had changed the fate of the world, and in doing so, had found ourselves. We journeyed onward, the weight of our experiences shaping each step we took. The lands stretched vast and varied, from golden deserts to lush valleys brimming with life. Our group grew closer, bound not only by purpose, but by friendship and shared dreams. One evening, beneath a sky studded with stars, we shared stories of our pasts and hopes for the future. Lyria's laughter was a balm to my weary soul, her spirit unbroken despite all we'd faced. Our path led us to the ruins of an ancient fortress, rumored to hold a relic of immense power. The fortress was a labyrinth filled with traps and illusions designed to guard its secrets. Together, we navigated its dangers, relying on trust and each other's strengths. Deep within, we found the relic a crystalline orb humming with energy. Touching it sent waves of knowledge rushing through me, revealing the intertwined fates of gods and mortals. Suddenly, the fortress trembled, and spectral warriors rose to defend their charge. A fierce battle ensued, pushing us to our limits. With determination and teamwork, we overcame the guardians and secured the relic. The knowledge gained illuminated new paths and possibilities for the world's future. As dawn broke, we prepared to leave, hearts full of hope and resolve. Though the journey was nearing its end, the story we lived would echo through time. Together, we faced whatever lay ahead, ready to embrace the dawn of a new era. The final stretch of our journey unfolded beneath a sky painted with the colors of dusk. Every step echoed with memories of battles fought and friendships forged. We approached the ancient Hall of Echoes, a place said to hold the collective wisdom of generations. The air inside was thick with reverence and silent stories waiting to be heard. At the heart of the hall, a pedestal awaited, glowing softly with a light that seemed both timeless and alive. Placing the relic from the fortress upon it, a wave of energy surged, connecting past and present. Visions of the gods' rise and fall, of mortals' resilience and hope, flowed through us. We understood then that power was not in gods or artifacts, but in the bonds we build and the choices we make. The world around us shimmered, healing from the scars of conflict and corruption. Lyria smiled, her strength restored, eyes shining with peace. We stepped outside to witness a new dawn breaking golden, radiant, full of promise. Villagers, warriors, and travelers gathered, their faces bright with hope and gratitude. Our story had come full circle, a testament to courage, sacrifice, and unyielding spirit. As the sun rose higher, I felt a quiet joy, knowing we had forged a legacy that would endure. The gods were no longer masters of fate. The future belonged to those who dared to shape it. Together, we walked forward, ready to embrace whatever wonders and challenges awaited beyond the horizon. Our adventure had ended, but life's journey was just beginning.
And that's it, my friends. Our story comes to an end. If you enjoyed this adventure, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment sharing your thoughts about the ending. Your feedback helps me make future stories even more exciting. Also, don't forget to share this video with your friends. Let them dive into this world too. Thank you for watching until the end, and see you in the next story.